Okay, today we're talking about what are monomials, and then we're going to be multiplying the monomials. So first, let's go through the three things that can be monomials. A monomial can be a number, a variable, or numbers or variables that are being multiplied by each other. So again, first, it could be a number. Second, it can be a variable. Third, one of those two things getting multiplied. So for example, a number, for example, 3 would be a monomial. Number 2, a variable. So x is a monomial. And then 3, one of those two could have to be being multiplied together. So for example, 3x squared is a monomial. 3 times x, they're all being multiplied. Understand the differences between an expression that is a monomial and isn't. So number 1 is no, not a monomial, because there's addition in there. There can only be multiplication. If it was x times y cubed, then that would be a monomial. Number 2 is yes, that is monomial, because we could break it down into pieces. That's 2 times a times b, everything being multiplied. Number 3 is no, because there's division in there. If it was e squared times g, then it would work. Number 4 is yes, monomial, because any number is a monomial. Number 12, so 12 is monomial. Number 5 is no, because there's subtraction in there. We can't have any subtraction. And then number 6 is yes, because it's all multiplication. We can break that down into d times d times d times d times s. All right, moving into our 2 monomial rules. So the first is a case where this is separated. Since it's separated, n squared times n to the 7th, since there's 2 that are being multiplied by each other, all we have to do is take that base and add the exponents. So that would be 2 plus 7. So that would be n to the 9th power for our final answer. So for another example, what if we had x to the 3rd times x to the 5th? We could break that down since they're just being multiplied. That would be x to the 3 plus 5. So final answer would be x to the 8th. All right, let's do another example. What if we had y times y to the 10th? The thing on this one is whenever you have a lone variable, you should always sneak in the exponent. The exponent on this first part is 1. So always put the 1 on there. So this will be y to the 1 plus 10. So final answer, y to the 11th. Alright, so for another example, what if we had 2 variables mixed? So if we had a squared, b squared times a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. So combine the variables. So start with a, it's got a power of 2 and 3, so add those powers. And then we've got b, it has a power of, again, 2 and 3, so add those variables. So final answer on this one would be a to the 5th, b to the 5th. Alright, so there's 4 examples of when we add exponents. Okay, what if we have a different... Okay, so this next one, and our second example. So the first example, we were just multiplying them. This one is, it starts with the variable to a power, and then it goes to a power. So when you have a power to a power, you take the exponents and you multiply them. So for this one, n to the 7th, and then that to the 4th, means that you'll take n to the 7th and times it by 4. So final answer on this one would be n to the 28th. So another example, you've got to think to yourself, is it a power to a power? So we could have like x to the 3rd to the 2nd. So it's a power to a power. When it's a power to the power, multiply it. So that's 3 times 2. So that'd be x to the 6th. Okay. One more example. What if we had y to the 10th? Well, there's a sneaky 1 right there, so just do 1 times 10 for the exponent, so that'd be y to the 10 for the power. Okay, let's move on to some complicated examples. Okay, so this first one, you've got to think to yourself, right, I don't see any powers to powers. So this is straight up multiplying. So let's be adding those exponents. So let's take the 3 and the 5 first. So multiply the 3 and the 5, they're next to each other in parentheses. So 3 times 5 is just 15. Bring down your x, we've got an x to the power of 6 and an x to the power of 2. What do we do with those two exponents? Since this is not a power to the power, we just add them. So that would be 15x to the 8th power, or our final answer. Alright, let's do this one again. I don't see any powers to the power, so let's just break it down and get organized. So that's negative 4 times 3, so that would be negative 12. Alright, we've got an a to the 3rd power and an a to the 2nd power. Now it's not a power to a power, so we add those exponents. Alright, looks like we've got a loner b, so let's put a 1 on there. So that'll be b starts with the power of 1, and then later it's a power of 5. What do we do with those exponents? We add them. So that would be 12a to the 5th, b to the 6th, for our final answer, negative 12a to the 5th, b to the 6th. Okay, let's do an example of a power to a power. Alright, I'm going to copy this one down so I can show my work perfectly. So that's negative 2ab squared. Now that's cubed, so there's the power to a power. And then a squared to the 4th. Again, there's another power to a power. So 2 power to the powers. First, I'm going to sneak a 1 in front of that lower a, so don't forget. Now we've got to remember this 3 gets put on the negative 2, and the a to the 1st, and the b to the 2nd. So that'll be negative 2 to the 3rd. A started with a 1, and then it gets a 3 on it. Since it's a power to a power, you times them. And then b started with a 2, and it gets a 3 on it. Since it's a power and a power, you times them. So then switch up the colors. This part on the right side, the 4, gets put on the 2. So now we have a started with a 2, and I got an extra 4. Since it's a power to a power, you times them. Okay, be very careful with this. This is negative 2 to the 3rd power. So that's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So that right there is negative 8. 1 times 3 is 3, so that'd be a to the 3rd. 2 times 3 is 6, that'd be to the 6th. Over here we've got another a. A to the 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, let's get more organized. So let's put the a's together. Now we have finished our power to the power, so this is now just straight up multiplying. So let's combine our a's. So bring along the negative 8. That'll be a to the, start with the 3, it got an 8, and a b to the 6. You gotta really check yourself. With that 3 and the 8, do we add them? Do we times them? We add them in this situation, because it's not a power to the power. So final best answer on this one would be negative 8, a to the 11th, b to the 6th. Okay, let's do another example. Jump to number 10. Let me make this a book. Looks like this one we don't have numbers. So let's just straight up multiply. So take your 1/3, times it by the 2, times it by the 6. So 1/3 times 2 times 6. Well, 6 times 1/3, that's just 6 divided by 3, so that's 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Alright, so we'll have 4. We've taken care of all of our numbers. We've got an a cubed and nothing else to combine it with. We've got a b and a b to the 3rd. Well, the lower b has an exponent of 1. So we've got b, it started with a 1 and it got a 3, and then check yourself. Is this a situation where we add them or we times them? We add them because it's not a power to a power. So final answer on this would be 4a cubed b to the 4th. Okay, let's jump to number 12 on the same. Right, so number to the powers. So let's combine this negative 3 and 2. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then we've got a j that had a 2 on it. And then there's a sneaky 1 over here. So it started with a 2 and then later it got a 1. This is a situation where we add them because it's not 2 to the first power. There's a 2 on the left side and then later 1 on the other side. Then we've got a k, it started with a 4 and it got a 6. And let's add those two. So final answer would be negative 6, j to the third, k to the 10th. You're done. Okay, let's do another example. Let's do number 10 from this page. Alright, here we go. Power. The 2 goes to the 3. This one doesn't have a power. So let's just copy that down. That's 2a cubed b squared. But over here, we started with b to the third and then it got an extra 2 on it. And check it, it's a power to a power, so we've got to times those. So now we have 2a cubed b squared times b to the 6th. So it looks like we can combine the b's. So that's 2a cubed. B started with the 2, later it got a 6. Now this is a situation where you add them because it's not 2 to the 6th power, they're just being multiplied. So final on this one would be 2a cubed b to the 8th power. Okay, let's on the same page. So this 2 goes on the negative 3 and the 2 and the 3. This 3 goes on the 2 and this 2 and this invisible 1. So let's put it all together. So powers to powers, we've got to talk ourselves through it. So that's negative 3 to the 2nd power here. J started with a 2, it got an extra 2. And then K started with a 3 and it got an extra 2. It's powers to powers, so I'm multiplying them. Next we've got 2 to the 3rd power. J started with a 2, it got a 3, multiplying power to a power. K started with a 1, got a 3, don't forget to multiply them. Alright, negative 3 squared means negative 3 times negative 3, that's a positive 9. This will be j to the 4th, k to the 6th, times 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 8, j to the 6th, k to the 3rd. Put them together, 9 times 8 is 72. J had a 4 and then it got a 6, we're adding them, this is not a power to the power. K started with a 6, it got a 3, add them, again it's not a power to the power. Best answer to j to the 10th, k to the 9th.